Hello guys, welcome to this session. In this session we are going to learn about DataFrame Basics. So let's jump into the Jupyter notebook to see the topics what we are going to cover. So in this session we are going to load the data into the Panda context, and after that we will check that how we can identify the shape of data frame. Once we know about this, then we will look into how we can check the top n rows within pandas. Same we can look into how we can identify the last n rows from the loaded data. Then we will proceed further and we will look into how to get the range of entries from the pandas loaded data. Once we understand that, then we will proceed further and we will look into how to get the column information from the loaded data. That we will look into the topic number 5. Then we will proceed further and look into the technique how to get only the specific columns from the large data set. Then we will proceed further and we will look into the type information about each of the column from the data which we have loaded. Then we will proceed further and we will discuss about some of the common operations on columns. Once we understand that, then we will proceed further and we will discuss about the describe method. It is one of the most important method while doing the data analysis. That we will also discuss. Once we understand that, then we will discuss about the conditional operation on column. Then we will proceed further and we will look into how to set index, and at last we will look into one of the important concepts for accessing the data within the data frame, that is LOC and ILOC, and we will also discuss about the difference between them. So now let's proceed further and let's load the data first, and then we will perform all these exercises. So let's load the data. So first we will select this cell and press B, then it will give us another cell, and here we will first import the pandas as PD. Shift enter. Now again here first we need to select this cell again and press B, and now I am going to create a data frame called df equal to, and I am going to create a data frame with the help of read underscore csv method, and here I am going to specify the name of the file, and it is stored in a data folder, and the name of the file is wine.csv. So this is one of the data set which I am using. So this data set contains the information about different wine, and this information is representing the quality of the wine. So let's press shift enter. So it has loaded the data into the memory. So let's look into that what actually the data is. Shift enter, then you will find that it has these number of columns, and which is representing a feature, and with the combination of these number of feature it represents the quality of the wine. For a time being you just forget about the problem statement, you just think about these are the data which represent the quality of a wine. So guys, from here onwards now you will start getting the feel of some of the data analysis. So let's start our exercise. So select this cell, press B, and now to check the shape we are going to use a property called df.shape and shift enter, and you will see it over here. It has returned this tuple which contains two information. One is 178, another one is 14. So this 178 represents the row information. That means the data, how many number of record it has total number of 178 rows. Now the number 14 represent the how many number of columns, that is the column information, and which is wine, alcohol, malic acid, ash, ACL, and all others. So now this way you can check the shape of data frame. Now let's proceed further. Select this exercise 2 and over here press B. Now to get top n rows, so you need to use a method called df.head. Shift enter, then you will get the top 5 record. By default this value is 5. If you want more than 5 value, then you can specify the number of record. For example, I want only 1. Shift enter, then you will get only a single record. Same is the case if you want only 10 records, then shift enter, you will get only top 10 records. So now let's proceed further. Now how we can get the last n rows, so let's look into that. Press B again over here and it will give us new cell. So to get the last n rows we are going to use another method called tail method. Similar to head, tail is there, so you will get the last sum record. If you will write like this, shift enter, then it will give us last 5. If you want more than that, then you can specify the number. If I want only 10 record from the last, then it will give us these number of record, that is 10 record. So now let's proceed further and we will look into how to get range of entries. Suppose if you want to check what actually the entry in between from range 40 to 50, so how you can do that? Select this cell, press B. To do that, you need to write data frame name and the square bracket and specify the range over here like this, 40 is to 50. So that means you want the data from this range. Shift enter and you will see that it has returned us the record from 40 to 49. So to get the 50th record, you need to specify 51 over here. Shift enter, then you will get the record from 40 to 50. So now let's proceed further and we will look into how to access individual columns. But first of all, we need to understand that what are the columns available within the given data. To do that, we need to write something called df.column and it will return us all the columns which exist within this data. And now we want to extract only a specific column. So how we can do that? We can do like this. You need to specify over here something like this. First select this one, press B, and now here you need to specify df.column name. I want to access wine. So shift enter, it has returned us this column. Same way you can access with other notation, that is a square bracket notation, and over here you can specify within the quotes. Now shift enter, it will return the same value. So this is about selecting only a single column. How about if you want to access only these 3 or these 4 together? So how you can do that? So you can do that with this syntax. So over here you need to specify the square bracket and again you need to use another set of a square bracket, and within that you need to specify the column names which you want to extract. In this case I am going to extract only these 4 columns and just do shift enter. Then you will find that from the given data set we have extracted only these columns, and if you want to do analysis on these 4 columns you can do that as well. So now let's proceed further and let's look into how to check the column type. So to do that, we will first select the cell and press B over here, and over here we need to specify type and the name of the data frame and select the column. I'm going to select wine, shift enter, and you will see that it has returned us pandascore.series. So basically each individual column is a type of series, and series is nothing but a list. You can consider it as a list, and within pandas context it is called as series. So now let's proceed further and we will look into some of the common operations which we perform whenever we do data analysis. This is just an example which I am going to give you because I wanted that you should aware about the method, which method we are going to use in the upcoming session while doing the exploratory data analysis. But with this example I wanted to give you feel about the data analysis. So let's look into the data which we are having within the memory, and over here you will see that we have, so suppose that if I am telling you I want to get to know about which wine is having more alcohol content, or instead let's start with the simplest one. I want to know about what is the maximum value of the alcohol content. So how we can do that? Let's look into that. So we will also identify the minimum value of alcohol content, and I will also show you how to calculate the mean and the standard deviation of the quantitative value, or say of the quantitative column. So don't worry about if you are listening some new word like quantitative column and all this. I am going to cover all this in exploratory data analysis. For a time being, quantitative column is nothing but a numerical column. Wherever you are having the numeric value, that will be called as a quantitative column. So let's look into how to get the maximum value of a given alcohol content as well as minimum. Then we will look into mean and the standard deviation. So to do that, you should come here, select this cell and press B. So it will give us a cell. Now over here we need to write the data frame name, and here you need to specify the column name alcohol, and then you need to specify a method called max. Shift enter and it will return the value that is the maximum value within this particular column. So that means we are having a wine which is having the maximum value of alcohol content, that is 14.83. So now we got the maximum value of alcohol content, but we don't know which actually wine is maximum alcohol content. So how do you come to know about this? So let's look into that. We will press B over here, and within data frame I am going to check that df.alcohol double equal to, I am going to pass this condition, and I will take this statement and put it over here. And once I will execute this, so it will give us the name or say the number of the wine which is having this value, that is the maximum value. So do shift enter and you will see that, or say row number 8 is having the maximum alcohol content. So this is about the maximum. So how about the minimum? Suppose that if you want to check the which wine is having minimum alcohol content, so you specify min over here, shift enter, and you will see that the wine which is having the entry at 115, that is wine 2, which is having minimum alcohol content, that is 11.03. Same way you can perform many statistical operations like finding the mean. So what is the mean? So you will see that on an average it is having 13.006% of alcohol content. Same way we can check the standard deviation with the help of STD method. Shift enter, then you will see that this is the standard deviation for alcohol column. So now let's proceed further and we will look into one of the important method, that is called describe, which will give us information in more descriptive manner. So let's look into that. So select this cell and press B, and this time I am going to use df, and here I will specify the name of the column alcohol, and then I will use describe. Shift enter, and then you will find that it has given us many information like how many number of rows we have, 178, what is the mean, what is the standard deviation, what is the minimum range, and what is the percentage detail, how many of the value 12 is falling in 25% range. Within 50% range we are having near about 13% of alcohol content wine, and same is the case with the 75%. It has also returned the maximum value. What is the maximum value within the alcohol column? So guys, while doing the data analysis, these information is very much important to answer many of the questions surrounding that feature. Over here I am representing this column, that is called alcohol. Same way, if you want to know about the malic acid is another column. So let's try with the malic acid over here. Press A. Let me get the name of that columns, shift enter, and there is called malic acid. Take this one, and instead of alcohol you can provide the malic acid. So the describe will provide the information about the malic acid column and these statistics from the malic acid column. In the upcoming part of the course, where we will discuss about exploratory data analysis workflow, where we will know about significance of these information while doing the data analysis. So now let's proceed further. Now we will look into how we can grab the information from the data frame with the help of conditional statement. For example, if you want to grab all the wine whose alcohol content is more than 12%, so how you can do that? Let's look into that. Select the cell, press B, and over here you need to specify the data frame name. And within that I'm going to apply the condition over here. I will tell that df dot alcohol equal to, and over here I will specify that, or we are performing greater than equal to. So we can tell that alcohol content which is greater than equal to 12. And now let's press shift enter. Then you will find that it has returned all the records whose alcohol value is more than 12%. So this way you can easily grab the information, and you will find that out of 178 rows, it returned 159 rows whose alcohol content is greater than 12. Suppose if you want to grab the information which is less than 12, so you should specify less than 12. Then you will find that it has returned us these number of rows whose alcohol content is less than equal to 12. So this way you can apply the conditional operation on data frame of pandas. Now let's look into the example for set index. I'm going to use another data set to explain you the set index. So over here I will press B, and this time I am going to use df1, and I will load the data from with the help of read underscore CSV method, and this time I am going to use data fruit bowl dot CSV. Shift enter, and it has returned the following information. So we are having these number of fruits whose price is this much, and it is also giving us information which fruit is in stock or not. So by default the index is the numeric value. Over here you will see that index is numeric value. Suppose if you want to make fruits as a index, so how you can make it, as it is a categorical value, but I want to make it as an index. So how we can do that? With the help of set index method. So let's do it. So over here press B, and this time I'm going to tell that df1 dot set index, and I'm going to provide the name of the column, and I want fruits should be the set index column. So over here you will see that fruit column is an index column and the numeric value went away. Now you can understand that we can easily set the index within pandas with the help of set index method. But you must wondering what is the use of this and the benefit we will look into next example. In this example, suppose if you want to access the index with the name, so how do you access it? With the help of LOC method. Here you need to specify that def dot LOC, and here you need to specify the name of the row, which row you want to access. So you can directly access through the name of that particular row. So here I will specify apple. Shift enter. I got an error. That is because I have used wrong data frame. We need to specify df1. Shift enter. We again got an error. You know why? That is because whenever if we are performing set index operation, it given us this view, but it is not being applied. To apply it, we need to tell that in place equal to true. So here you will specify true. Now shift enter and then try to execute this cell. Then you will find that it has returned the index apple and the price of the apple is 100. Whether it is in stock or not, yes, it is in stock. So this LOC property helping us to get the information from the named index. Now there is another property that is called ILOC. ILOC, if you want to access the index with numeric value, then we will use the property called ILOC. So for example, df1, I want to access the same apple index, but this time I am going to use the numeric value. I know that the apple index resides at 0th location, so I need to specify like this. Shift enter. Then you will find that it has returned the same information, but this time we have access through this property ILOC with index 0. And here you will see that the name of the index is apple and the price is 100. Whether it is in stock or not, yes, it is in stock. So this way you can easily access the information with the help of indexes, and this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.